What's up, Jets fans? Welcome to the latest edition of Jets Latest, where you get the latest on the Jets, Jets. I'm your host, the spitting statistician, Dane Martinez, and the 2025 NFL Draft is in the books. And if you have been watching Jets Latest, you know we were kind of all over it. We were all over it in terms of specific players. We were all over it in terms of positions. And a lot of people are saying that the Jets had a good draft on today's episode and in the episodes over the next couple of days and weeks. I'm going to give you insights. I'm going to give you quotes. I'm going to give you attributes and stats on the people from the 2025 Jets draft class. But let's just start by going through them. You know, at number 7 overall, they took Armand Membu. We think he is the best offensive lineman in the draft. He's only given up 3 sacks in 3 years at Missouri, none in his last year. His PFF grade was over 90. He was the top athletic scorer at the combine. His 40-yard dash, vertical jump, broad jump was all great, and that now completes the offensive line, which I was saying was job number 1 in the draft. The Jets now have a good, young offensive line for a while to come. You put Membu along with Fashanu, the first-round draft pick last year, with Tippmann, Sampson, and AVT. They are also all 28 years old or younger. We absolutely love what they did in the first round. But here's the deal. We like what they did in the second round as well. If you've been watching Jets Latest, you know we were all over Mason Taylor. He was a tight end that we specifically targeted. He was part of the reason that we did not want the Jets to take Tyler Warren in the first round, because we thought we could get Mason Taylor in the second round. 6'5", 251 pounds, out of LSU. Hall of Famer Jason Taylor is his father. Hall of Famer Zach Thomas is his nephew, okay? He set a tight end record at LSU, the only tight end at LSU ever to have 100 catches and 1,000 yards in his career. He only had 1 drop at LSU last year, so we absolutely love that. Then a lot of people, when they were signing Brandon Stevens, they said, hey, we still need to address cornerback outside of Sauce, right? Well, they did that in the third round, taking A.Z. Thomas out of Florida State. Now, listen, this is really where I think Aaron Glenn kind of sticking to his guys come into play. His style, his culture, right? A.Z. Thomas is a press man fit, okay? That's the kind of cornerback that he is. He is tall. He is lanky. People call him physically imposing. Kind of a similar body type at corner like Sauce and like Stevens. He didn't allow any touchdowns in 2024 on 357 coverage snaps. He had an interception. And Aaron Glenn, you'll hear me talk about it later on in the week. He says that A.Z. Thomas plays faster in game speed than he did in his 40. The one knock on him was that he had like a 4.5 40. Could he stay with these people? But he plays the way Aaron Glenn wants a cornerback to play. Then in the fourth round, we get Arian Smith, a wide receiver out of Georgia. Now, let me tell you something. A lot of people think this is the pick that we didn't really like, okay? A lot of people wanted to get a wide receiver, and here's what they did. They went and got a wide receiver out of Georgia, and he is a burner. He is a fast guy, sub 4.3 speed. He led the Georgia Bulldogs with 817 receiving yards last year, 17 yards per catch, and really, he was also on the track team at Georgia that finished second in the NCAAs in the 4x100, okay? So the speed is absolutely there. He does struggle with drops, okay? And that is the knock on him, but he is going to be able to take the top off the defense, and all week, I'm going to be giving you quotes from other people about why I still think this was a good pick. To be quite honest, here's what it comes down to. You can teach catching the ball a little bit better. You know what you can't teach? 4.3 speed, and we get him in the fourth round at pick number 8. Then they come back into the fourth round, and they get Malachi Moore, a defensive back out of Alabama. Okay, this guy was a defensive captain, a 2-time captain for Alabama. People think he is a true ball-hawking, smart, aware safety. Interestingly enough, he played the position at Alabama that Brian Branch played at Alabama, the star position. And then Branch was in Detroit with Aaron Glenn. He talked to Branch about it and loves Malachi Moore. This is a guy they focused on. This is a second team All-American defensive back. He's probably going to play safety for us. But again, having that versatility was a big deal. They like that he could play safety. They like that he can come down, play nickel. They like that he can even come on in and play a little bit of linebacker as well. Then in the 5th round, they go and get 2 guys from the University of Miami, Kiko Maluga, who is a linebacker. A little bit about him. He was also a defensive captain at Miami. He was a 2-time second team all ACC performer, led the team in tackles. Okay, and he's known to being aggressive. He's known to being smart. He's known by being physical, similar to what we have been talking about as Aaron Glenn is building the culture here with the same kind of guys. And yet, you note, another captain for them in the 5th round. And then they finish it up with Tyler Barron, a edge rusher, a defensive lineman out of Miami. He transferred from Tennessee, tied for their team lead in tackles for loss and sacks, and they like his size, they like his versatility, and also on pass rushing, he got a PFF grade of 91.6, a high motor kind of player, so they like him as well. Listen, a lot of people like this draft. I think between Membu, Taylor, and Thomas, we have possible starters on this roster. Arian Smith is going to wind up being a speed attribute that might open things up for a guy like Mason Taylor. We'll see if they coach him up, but I really think it was a pretty good haul here overall for the New York Jets. But the number 1 pick here is Armand Membu, and check about what Aaron Glenn had to say about Armand Membu and why he knew it was a no-brainer to take him in the 1st round. He says, I come from teams where everything was about the O-line. In Detroit, we started with Penei Sewell, and I'm a firm believer that you started inside out. If we can build our line, that only helps you as a team. It helps your quarterbacks, helps your running backs. It creates an identity that every team, when they watch film, they see that. He easily fits who we are, and the pick was really, really easy. I'm telling you, rave reviews now for finishing the offensive line. We have above average offensive lines, at least on paper, and they are young. And if you've seen any clips of Membu, he plays to and through the whistle. He is a big dude, and he was rising up boards. He was being compared to Philadelphia Eagles great Jason Peters, for goodness sake, okay? And I just love that you now have that bookend, our 1st round draft pick last year, Olufushanu, as the other bookend. And we have a great interior offensive line already. I've detailed that here on Jets Latest. So Membu was in fact the pick. We talked about it all the time here on Jets Latest. If you've been following Jets Latest, you're like, wow, Spittin' Statistician got it right. You probably saw them take Mason Taylor in the 2nd round. We're like, wow, Dane, the Spittin' Statistician, was talking about him on Jets Latest. And here's the other deal. What I really like, they fill the positions of need that we were talking about. We already were talking about, like, look at what they do kind of in free agency and the positions they kind of left there. Well, there was buzz, like, would they trade for Kyle Pitts? Would they trade for Mark Andrews? Would they sign a tight end? No, they didn't really do that. Why? Because they were targeting Mason Taylor. Would they go out and get a right tackle? No. Why? Because they were getting Armand Membu. They put it all together. They clearly had a plan. We were talking about O-lineman. We were talking about tight end. We were talking about help in the secondary. They get that with A.Z. Thomas. They get that with Malachi Moore. We were talking about wide receiver. And here's what they did. They got veteran wide receivers in free agency like the Josh Reynolds, like the Tyler Johnsons, right? Even bringing back Lazard. What they did really need is a speed guy, and that's what they get in Smith in the 4th round. So I think they really knew what they were looking for and addressed all the needs that they had. Literally all the positions we were talking about is what the Jets went out and got over the last few days. I am going to, here on Jets Latest, I'm going to be telling you about quotes from Moji and Glenn. I'm going to be giving you more about all of the picks here in the draft, but that's what they did with all of those picks. I'll show it to you one more time. Membu, we love. Mason Taylor was someone we talked about. A.Z. Thomas can fit the scheme, is built just like Sauce and Stevens, is a press man cover. Arian Smith, a speed, take the top off the defense, one of the fastest guys in the NFL draft. Malachi Moore and Kiko, these are defensive captains that can be multiple, that can go in a lot of different places, and that get tackles. And then Barron will add to the pass rush. So we absolutely like that. And make sure you keep it locked to Jets Latest throughout this week. We'll be breaking down all of the picks, what Glenn has to say, where they could fit in, what we like them about them. So that's another edition here of Jets Latest. Remember to watch this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell a Jets fan friend to tell a Jets fan friend, because if you don't know by now, this is a new era, a new culture, and we are bringing in dogs. Smart, aggressive, physical. You keep on hearing Aaron Glenn saying that. You keep on hearing Darren Moji saying that. And you're going to hear them saying that about these draft picks from the 2025 draft. We absolutely love it. We will see how it all comes together. But the Jets filled the holes that they needed. And quite frankly, Membu and Taylor, I believe, are going to be starting right away and contributing for the 2025 JETS Jets. And the other thing I know, we will be here to talk about the 2025 JETS Jets. Remember also, you can hear me over on Sirius XM Channel 87. I am the host of the FTN Fantasy Show. We are going to be breaking down the draft from a fantasy football perspective, from a futures perspective, talking Major League Baseball, talking NBA playoffs. It does not stop. We got the Kentucky Derby coming up this weekend, and we will get you ready to win your leagues and win that cash. Watch this video, like this video, subscribe to the channel, tell a friend, because Jets Latest has a lot to say about these picks, and we will be doing that all week on Jets Latest. But that's about it from here for this episode. We'll see you back tomorrow. We out of here.